Hello, it's me again, and I am here with your week 4. Sorry, I had to double check. I'm here with your week 4 video. So we did the routine and the timetabling. I wonder how you got on with that. Did you manage to stick to it? Did you give yourself enough free time? Did you help your parents and people at home with some chores? I hope you did. You need to get yourself some brownie points because your parents worked really hard when you were working at home to help you out. So make sure you're helping them out too. Okay, right, this time it is time for week 4. And our theme for week 4 is, I'm getting better at this, what's the same and what's different. So at week 4, you generally get to the point where you start thinking about coming back to school. And it's been such a strange time where you've been learning at home and having Zoom calls and all kinds of things like that. And I would imagine it probably gets to the point where you start feeling a bit wobbly because lots of things have changed. You don't know what it's going to be like in September. And that can be quite scary. But what we wanted to do here is look at all the things that are staying the same as well. Okay? So there's lots of things that stay the same. And do you know what stays the same? You. There is one you. And that is your superpower. There is no one else out there that is like you, and that's brilliant. So let's think about some other things that are the same. I'll talk about mine, and you have a think about what you might need to do for yours. So here, this is something that I've thought about that helped me last year and will probably help me this year. And this might be one that works for you as well. Knowing when to ask for help. Sometimes I would struggle and get really annoyed that I couldn't do it myself. And actually, all I needed to do was ask somebody else if they could just give me a hand or show me how they've done it or just give me another idea. And it made a big difference. The other thing I enjoyed, and you saw my paint by numbers in one of the older videos, is a bit of mindfulness colouring. And I did painting, but I found it really mindful. The other thing is like doodle time, just a blank piece of paper and a pencil. It's amazing what you can achieve just with a pencil and a bit of doodling. And the other thing, you'll have seen it on my timetable, a bit of yoga. I got really into it last year and was doing it every single day. And then I sort of stopped for a while. So I'm doing my best this summer to keep on top of it and do lots of it. Because it makes me feel like I'm full of energy, but nice and relaxed. And I think those kinds of things are really good if you think you might be feeling a little bit wobbly. So there we are. So here are a few other things where I'm thinking about me. My favourite subject is maths, because I get really excited when I see how one thing's connected to another thing. And I really enjoy seeing those connections, and you'll see it in lessons next year when I make those connections with you guys, or I see you guys make those connections. I get very excited about it. I also really enjoy English. I find that really hard to choose, but I have to say, because I do a lot of maths training with other schools as well, I had to say my favourite subject is maths because that's the one that I do all the training into. Right, this is me reflecting on what I learn, what I need for learning best. So I learn best when I am calm, when I am focused, and if I've moved any distractions away. So if you look at my workspace, you will see I have got this. I have got a pen. I have got my cup of tea. I have got the rest of the booklet. And then if you look here, you will see I have got my diary open, but that's it. On my laptop. But I've kept my workspace really clear, so I've moved away all of my distractions and I'm just focusing what I'm doing. You can also probably hear that it's very quiet in my house as well. Some people like having music on. If I'm doing something that's quite mindful or handwriting practice or something like that, I might put a bit of classical music on, but I like it to be nice and quiet so I can really concentrate. You might learn best differently. You might like music. You might learn best if you just do 20 minutes at a time and then give yourself lots of breaks. I quite like getting into a really focused place and then just working for a while and then realising that I actually need to stand up because I can't feel my legs anymore. But you probably know better than I do how you learn best. And it's really good for you to know that as well, because if you want to focus, you know exactly what you need to do. What else have we got here? The subject I find the hardest is art. Oh, I get myself in such a pickle when it comes to drawing. I like colouring in. When it comes to trying to create things that look like things, I get really wobbly and I'm just not very confident. And I doubt myself. So when I've done something, I look at it and go, oh, that's not very good. And people say, oh no, it's okay, it's okay. But I do find it quite stressful. So I am going to work really hard on that this year, because I know I find it difficult, and that doesn't mean I don't do it. It means I have to really try and do it. And it's just about knowing what you know about yourself. And the last thing, I like this one, the things which support me in my learning are my buddies, my teacher, resources, and me. So I've put my buddies because Miss Chester is one of my buddies, Mrs. Bailey is one of my buddies, and if I'm wobbling when I'm learning something, I ask the people around me who might know for some help. I put my teacher as well, because we are all learning from each other, and if you're in the classroom, think about your 5Bs, you might want to ask the teacher for some help. But I have people that know more than me and might have a different way of thinking about things, and I will ask them. Sometimes it's Miss Chester, sometimes it's Mrs. Mannion, sometimes it's the subject leader in the school who might know more about the subject, just like other teachers come and ask me about maths things, because that's the subject that I lead too. And me, don't forget the brain in your head, because you will surprise yourself with how much you can do if you are feeling wobbly. So keep trying. So we've looked at what's the same, but what is going to be different next year? Now, I think you probably already know, but this is me. I am your new teacher, Mrs. Herbert, but there is a koala called Gumnut. And I met him when I went to Australia a couple of years ago. So there you go. Oh, it keeps going blurry. There we are. But there's not just going to be me this year. There is also going to be Mrs. McDonald on a Monday, because I do a lot of maths training. So I go to other schools and learn about how they teach maths and give the teachers some training on how to teach maths as well. And that takes up my Mondays. So I will be doing that on a Monday. Mrs. McDonald will be your special guest teacher on the Monday, and she'll just teach you just like I do with the maths and the English and in the afternoon, and then I'll come back in on Tuesday and be really excited to see you and find out what you've been up to. So there's your teaching team. I'm very excited, and we did this last year and it went really well, because I get on really well with Mrs. McDonald and she's awesome. So that's going to be the different things. I have got another video here that you'll be able to click on, and it's a tour around the classroom, but also how to get there from Mr. Moss's room as well. So you know exactly where my classroom's going to be, and you get a little sneak peek. And it says here, your learning might feel a bit different too. We learn about some really exciting new topics. Maths and English might get a little bit trickier, but we'll always help and support each other. But don't forget, it might get a bit trickier, but you will also be a little bit older and your brains will be a little bit stronger, and that's how it goes. And you manage with the year 3 stuff this year, we'll manage with the year 4 stuff next year. So don't you worry about it, because we are all here to support you. And that is week 4 of your transition booklet, your passport. So tune in next time for week 5. If you want to tweet it, it's at TintersfieldRH. Go for it, but don't worry if not. It is your holiday. You're meant to be having a break from everything. If not, just bring your book in and I will have a look and we can share what we've been up to in September. Can't wait. It's getting closer. See you soon. Bye.